Let's begin today's Vanguard news by congratulating all of those who suffering from the sunk cost fallacy, also known as premium format players. Because Monasterio decided to reward their loyalty by giving them a reprint of Harmonix Messiah in each of the premium stride deck sets. Next thing you know, Monasterio might let the English format have a right deck in premium format just like in Italy. Lyrical Monasterio finally grew up from being that special child in the corner to one of being part of society by joining every other nation getting new cards at the same time as their trial deck's content is finally revealed. Wonder Lavender Ursul is your typical D-series starter that surprisingly isn't some lyrical student doing their morning exercise. Heartwarming Lyrica when ridden over by Resolve to sing until the end Louise lets you call up to one grade 2 or lower normal unit from your hand, then add up to one card with the same name you called with this ability from your deck. And while on rear guard during your turn, she gets 5k power if you have a grade 3 or higher Marlene Vanguard. Let it be known to new players that Lyrical Monasterio is the best startup trial deck since it lets you add a sentinel from your deck. As for the one you called to rear guard, in order to add another copy from your deck, resolve to sing until the end Louise when ridden over by a grade 3 Marlene card makes you return one of your rear guards to your hand. Then call her from your soul if you returned a card with this ability. And while on the Guardian Circle, she gets 10k shields if you have a grade 3 or higher Marlene Vanguard. The balloons in her background foreshadowed what is going to happen assuming your opponent isn't running any retire abilities. Love Call Marlene once per turn while on Vanguard lets you pay 1 counter blast to add another copy of herself from your deck, then she gets 10k power. And while on Vanguard, you can pay 4 energy blast when she attacks a Vanguard to return one of your rear guards to your hand, then call up to one grade 3 or lower unit card from your hand to an open rear guard, and that unit gets 10k power. Expect the 2 new players who bought this deck because they like cute anime girls to give old veteran players some fishing season PTSD. Meanwhile, Stoicheia players really got screwed over with Christianus being the only startup trial deck boss card to be an act skill and unable to do 4 attacks like Triumph Dragon, but at least that card has an extra crit. Rapid growing flower bed Selin when discarded from hand during your ride phase lets you pay 2 soul blast to draw a card. This card has a striking resemblance to Tokoha. Playful Scribbling Seer when placed on rear guard during the battle phase gets 10k power if you have a grade 3 or higher Marlene Vanguard. I went back to the previous startup trial decks and noticed that only Dragon Empire and Keta Sanctuary's grade 2 support isn't tied to a certain Vanguard. Seeing as both nations will be used by now and Akina respectively, perhaps Spino Assaulter and Resurgent Dragon will be used in their main decks. Theatre Lesson Lafferty when discarded from hand during your ride phase lets you call her to rear guard in rest position. Typical of a theatre student to exit the stage and come back lying down like it's every Sleeping Beauty play ever. Finally, Hasty Loafen while on rear guard lets you pay 1 counter and 2 energy blast when she boosts while you have 3 or more units with different names to draw a card and get 5k power. Petrarca players rejoice, you have a new toy in your discount Highlander deck. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members, I would be at a loss without them, especially if I don't get reinstated at the end of this month. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you're scrambling to sell off your hoarded vanilla Harmonix Messiah.